A city that stood for over 1,000 years, an empire on its last breath, and a 21-year-old sultan with a vision. This is the story of the greatest victory in history. For centuries, Constantinople was known as the Queen of Cities, a fortress of Christianity and a symbol of imperial might. Its legendary walls had repelled countless invaders, from the Persians to the Arabs, from the Rus to the Bulgars. But in 1453, the unthinkable happened. The walls were breached, the city fell, and the Byzantine Empire was no more. How did the mighty defenses that had withstood 1,000 years of sieges finally collapse? What secret weapon did the Ottomans use to achieve the impossible? And how did the ambitions of a young sultan change the course of history forever? This is the fall of Constantinople, the battle that reshaped the world. By 1453, the once mighty Byzantine Empire was a shadow of its former self. What had once been a vast empire stretching across the Mediterranean had been reduced to just Constantinople and a few scattered territories. The city, once the jewel of the Eastern Roman Empire, was now an island in a sea of Ottoman dominance. Its ruler, Emperor Constantine, knew the danger he faced. The Ottoman Empire, under the ambitious Sultan Mehmed, was growing stronger, determined to make Constantinople the capital of a new Islamic empire. Constantine pleaded for help from the Catholic West, but centuries of religious divisions meant little support came. The Byzantines were alone. On the other side, Mehmed II, just 21 years old, had a vision. He would be the one to take the city that had defied conquerors for over a millennium, and he had the firepower to do it. On April 6, 1453, Sultan Mehmed II and his massive Ottoman army of over 80,000 troops arrived at the walls of Constantinople. Facing them were just 7,000 Byzantine and allied soldiers, led by Emperor Constantine. The city's defenses were formidable. 3 layers of walls, a deep moat, and a massive chain blocking enemy ships from entering the Golden Horn. But Mehmed had something that no previous attacker had: gunpowder artillery. At the heart of his arsenal was the Great Turkish Bomber, a gigantic cannon built by Hungarian engineer Orban. It could fire 600-pound stone projectiles, capable of shaking the very foundations of the Theodosian walls. Day and night, the Ottomans pounded the walls, while their engineers dug tunnels underneath to collapse them from below. But the Byzantines fought back fiercely. Using a mix of fire, countermining, and naval raids, they managed to hold the Ottomans at bay. Yet as the days dragged on, the cracks in Constantinople's defenses began to show. The siege was turning into a brutal war of attrition, and both sides knew that the decisive moment was approaching. As the siege dragged on, Mehmed realized brute force alone wouldn't be enough. He needed a game-changing strategy, and he found it. The first breakthrough came when the Ottomans did the unthinkable. They transported their fleet over land. Since the Byzantines had blocked the Golden Horn with a massive chain, Mehmed's engineers built wooden tracks, greased them with animal fat, and hauled over 70 ships across land, bypassing the blockade entirely. The sight of Ottoman warships suddenly appearing behind the city's walls shocked the defenders. It was a devastating psychological blow. Meanwhile, the continuous cannon bombardment was working. The mighty Theodosian walls, once thought indestructible, had gaping cracks. The Byzantines scrambled to repair them each night, but they were running out of manpower. Then came the fatal mistake. The Kerka Porta, a small side gate, was left unlocked. Ottoman scouts discovered it and rushed in. Though quickly closed, this sign of weakness encouraged Mehmed to prepare for one final, all-out assault. The stage was set. The city's fate would be decided in a single decisive battle. On May 29, 1453, just before dawn, Sultan Mehmed ordered the final, full-scale assault on Constantinople. Tens of thousands of Ottoman troops stormed the city's walls in coordinated waves. The first waves consisted of irregular forces, expendable troops sent to exhaust the Byzantine defenders. The second wave, made up of more experienced soldiers, followed, fighting their way over the crumbling walls. Inside the city, chaos erupted. The Byzantines fought desperately, patching breaches and pushing back wave after wave of attackers. Emperor Constantine, knowing this was the end, refused to flee. Legend says he tore off his imperial robes, took up his sword, and charged into battle, never to be seen again. Finally, the elite Janissaries, Mehmed's most disciplined warriors, delivered the killing blow. The Ottoman flag was raised over the walls, and soon the Hagia Sophia, the greatest church in Eastern Christianity, was turned into a mosque. After 1,100 years, Constantinople had fallen. Sultan Mehmed, now Mehmed the Conqueror, entered the city, declaring it the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. The world had changed forever. The fall of Constantinople shook the world. For the Christian West, it was a catastrophic loss. The last remnant of the Roman Empire was gone. The Pope called for another crusade, but Europe was too divided to respond. For the Ottomans, it was the beginning of a new golden age. Constantinople was renamed Istanbul and became the capital of an empire that would dominate for centuries. Mehmed transformed the city into a thriving metropolis, welcoming people of different faiths and rebuilding its grandeur. But perhaps the most unexpected consequence was on global trade. With the Ottomans controlling key routes, Europeans were forced to seek new paths to Asia, fueling the age of exploration. Without Constantinople's fall, figures like Columbus and Vasco da Gama might never have set sail. The world order had shifted, a new empire had risen, and history would never be the same.